From the air, the aftermath of Storm Christoph is clear. This is Cheshire, but across the country, days of torrential rain have left swathes of land flooded. In North Wales, part of this bridge was completely washed away by the force of the water. In Norwich, drivers battled through flooded city centre roads. And in Warrington, vehicles were abandoned overnight, while residents pitched in to try to keep the floodwaters at bay.
I got most of the floodwater out of my property last night. Probably about 5:30 I finished this morning.
But not everyone was successful. This woman in Lymm, one of a number left surveying the damage to her home. Amid heavy snow in Didsbury and Greater Manchester last night, the emergency services knocked on hundreds of doors, advising residents in at-risk properties to leave. As the swollen River Mersey continued to rise, many heeded the warnings, most choosing to stay with friends or family, thanks to a temporary reprieve in COVID restrictions for anyone facing danger. Christine Draper and her daughters left at around midnight, having secured their home with sandbags.
We were just really petrified. We were told that there's danger to life. So we knew it was really serious then.
It was about 12:30 and it looked really sort of treacherous.
We didn't panic or anything because we've lived here for a long time and we often have flood warnings, but it's never one quite like this one.
A relieved Prime Minister arrived here earlier to see for himself how the Didsbury Basin flood defences managed to keep the River Mersey at bay.
What I'm seeing here is the amazing preparations that the Environment Agency makes, the way they're able to use sluice gates, the way they're able to use improvised emergency flood defences to protect homes.
This sluice gate was crucial, opened in the early hours to divert water away from properties.
I'm told that the river here came within just a few centimetres of breaching the defences last night. And with the ground still so saturated and snow still to melt, the threat isn't completely over yet.
I urge people living at flood risk to, and you can put your postcode in to find out whether you are living with flood risk, to make sure that you're keeping up to date with the alerts that we're putting out.
And that stark warning applies to those at risk across the country. With heavy rain forecast in many places in the days to come, the threat is not over yet.
And Catherine, as you say, we're being warned the danger hasn't passed.
That's right, Peter. In fact, there are still more than 150 flood warnings in place across England and Wales this evening. I had a long chat to the Environment Agency earlier, and they're warning that the threat is very much still in place in many areas. The big problem is that the ground is so saturated in so many areas that even the smallest amount of rain, of water, could make a difference. And unfortunately, there is more bad weather forecast over the next few days. So while the overriding initial feeling here and in other places too may be relief, the Environment Agency is urging those in flood-prone areas to be vigilant and keep checking the warnings on their website. Peter.